live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Power Hour with two-time national champion Todd Uhlir. Powered by Window World of Lincoln and Set the Bar Subs on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right. Hopefully my internet's good. Can you hear me there, Nick? All right.
We sure can. Good morning, Todd. How's it going, my friend?
Good, man. I'm down in Kansas City, so taking the show on the road a little bit.
Are we going to the game?
We're going to the game. Trent and I are going here, so
awesome.
Hopefully we don't freeze.
Yeah. Well, it should be a good one. I mean, here's the thing. So I saw earlier today that the Chiefs are, I think, like an 8.5 point favorite, which is kind of bizarre to think about. Let me ask you this right off the bat. How do the Texans win today?
They're gonna have to play mistake free, right? I think that the Chiefs do a really good job of making teams make mistakes. So this season's been a lot different than the past two seasons for the Chiefs, right? They just kind of they don't seem to take the risks that they did the last 2 years, right? But they don't seem to score as quickly as they did the last 2 years either. So they're more of a mature, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and if we can't do it, then we'll bide our time and we'll wait for them to make a mistake. So I think it's been an interesting year, and it's gonna be a heck of a game. I think the Texans are good by all means. So I don't. 8.5 points is crazy, like you said.
Well, and what's on top of that, like, this feels like a big opportunity for CJ Stroud in this year of Stephon Diggs. People forget that Stephon Diggs is a part of the Texans. He's just banged up and out for the rest of the year. And so it's a big game, I think, for CJ Stroud to prove that his rookie year wasn't a fluke, right? And that DeMeco Ryans can continue to build on the success, because he's found a favorite target in Nico Collins. But this is a wide receiver room for the Texans that's depleted because of Stephon Diggs. It's depleted because Tank Dell is out for the rest of the year as well. They're going to ask a lot of Nico Collins. And then kind of a build off of his career in Cincinnati, Joe Mixon is a running back that just doesn't get talked about or respected enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think obviously if CJ can win this, it just puts him on the map, right? I think so it's a big game for him. And obviously for Chiefs fans, we want the three-peat, right? So we're 3 games away from a three-peat. So hopefully, as a Chiefs fan, we can get it done, and CJ's got to wait another year. But I think it'll be interesting just seeing how the Chiefs actually play the game, and if they're going to take some chances that they haven't been taking all year. They've looked a lot better the last couple. Obviously, last week 2 weeks ago against the Broncos, they didn't play anybody. So, but even when they lose, they get hammered on because they kept Cincinnati out of the playoffs, right?
Yeah, well, and how much do you?
So it's always interesting. So you either love the Chiefs or you hate them.
Well, and with that, like, I was having the conversation yesterday with a couple of friends of Patrick Mahomes and in the postseason, right? Like, fifth there. So the Chiefs are somehow, some way, you said it, right? It's not been the prettiest of years. It's not been the most Chiefs-esque type of victories, right? They don't have a Tyreek Hill that can stretch the field. They don't have some guys on defense, right? They moved on from a couple of those guys, L'Jarius Sneed, things like that. But ultimately, Patrick Mahomes has done what good quarterbacks do, and that's win football games, especially in the postseason. And in this weekend where you have the 2 favorites in the MVP race going against each other in another game of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, we were asked the question of, who would you take? One of those 2 this season, or would you take Patrick Mahomes? And I think the answer continues to be Patrick Mahomes, because of the experience in the playoffs and his results so far as well.
Yeah, the results speak for themselves, right? So, you just can't ever count him out, even if there's a minute left. And he's got the ball, right? So, I don't think anybody does it better. And once again, I'm a little biased being a Chiefs fan since Marcus Allen was traded from the Raiders way back way back when. I went through all the hard years with the Chiefs and being horrible, but they always had some pretty cool. Christian Okoye was one of my favorite. He also wore the number 35, which was kind of the Uhlir family number in high school. So, but yeah, I those two quarterback, that's going to be a heck of a game. But I'll stand behind Patrick. You just can't count him out, you know. And it's fun. It's going to be a heck of a playoff run for all these guys, all these teams, and you know, once again, I think the Chiefs have the talent, have the staff to three-peat. But man, you gotta make the plays when it comes down to it, right? You got to show up.
Mhm.
We're at home, so that helps. Arrowhead's pretty awesome. If you've never been there, you should go.
Yeah.
We're in section 314 today, row 2. So, it's going to be a little chilly there today. Brought the overhauls and, hopefully stay
Mhm.
warm. But we haven't been to a Chiefs game since the Steelers beat us in the playoffs. I think that was Patrick Mahomes' rookie year, maybe, or
Yeah.
second year when the Steelers beat us in the play. That's the last Chiefs game Trent and I have been to. So hopefully we're not the curse. Because
Well, and
we went to the Ravens game and lost, and we went to the Steelers game and lost, both playoff games, and so
I'm sensing a common trend there with you guys showing up to games and the Chiefs losing, I suppose. I think my Chiefs stories have been, you mentioned like some of the bad Chiefs teams. My stories were, I have family members that live out in San Diego and that are San Diego Chargers are now Los Angeles Chargers fans. And so every time that the Chargers would go down to Kansas City, we'd all meet up and go to the Chiefs Chargers game. And that was back, when Danny Woodhead was playing and Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates and things like that. It was really, really fun to go see those guys. But man, the Chiefs were rough to watch back then because that was the days of Matt Castle. And I mean, Dwayne Bowe was really, really good for the Chiefs at a time. But like your punt returner was Dexter McCluster for Kansas City. And like that just doesn't move the needle when compared to like Patrick Mahomes or Tyreek Hill or Isaiah Pacheco or Chris Jones. It just does not move the needle the same that like Dexter McCluster could. So, those were some bad
yeah,
Chiefs teams.
yeah, really bad Chiefs teams. Priest Holmes was,
Oh
there
yeah.
was some really good players, but really really bad teams. They just couldn't win. And we went through it. I remember Indianapolis. Trying to think when that was. I think that was the first. We went to the first ever Thursday night NFL game. It was on Thanksgiving. Was it? No, it was the Broncos Chiefs. And so we were in Arrowhead for that. That was awesome.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and we won that game. And then I think we lost to the Colts that year in the first round of the playoffs as well. Like we just couldn't ever win a playoff game.
Yeah.
It was nice when we got there. I think we only got the 3 out of 15 years that that I can remember. Um, we always hated the Patriots for all the wins, and now we're that team. Everybody is like, oh, they're cheating, they're doing this, they're doing that, And it's always interesting to be kind of on the other side of that coin, you know. So when you're winning, everybody's there's a reason they're winning, and you know, um, and I was probably just the same way towards the Patriots. I cheered
Yeah.
against them. I didn't want them to win, but you had to respect them that they were that good, right? To win that many Super Bowls and do what they did, just insane. Um, so yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. We were out this morning. We went and did a little boxing match. Not a
Oh,
boxing match, but title boxing workout. Trent and I went. One of my clients lives here in Kansas City, so he invited us. We went and did 10 rounds at title boxing. Heck of a workout. It's a little chilly out there, so got back, showered up, doing the radio, gonna head down. $60 to park.
yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
Uh-huh.
I mean, the last time I was to a Chiefs game, it was $25.
Yep.
So, needless to say, it's gone up a bit. So, but yeah, 60 to park. We'll go down. meet up with some people that we know that are going to be around and hang out a little bit, and then go in and cheer on Patrick Mahomes and maybe catch a glimpse of Taylor Swift. Right, that's why everybody goes anyway.
That's the main attraction, I suppose. Let me ask you this. Well, first off, we got a text on the text line 402-464-5685 from Crowbait, excuse me. He says, "I wish your Chiefs all the worst luck in the world today." So you got people cheering, a lot of feelings against you guys. Let me ask you this, Todd. Where do you want to go first? Because we kind of just came out and started talking about the Chiefs. I know there's so much to talk about. Where do you want to start with this conversation? You want to dissect the NFL playoffs because it's a really intriguing weekend in that world. College football has the national championship just 2 days away. What's on your mind? What is at the forefront of Todd Uhler's mind?
Yeah, I think obviously the NFL's forefront, and then Monday night's game, right? Like, I think that's a good thing to kind of end with, is kind of get who you think's going to win and how that's going to shake down. But yeah, the NFL right now, obviously divisional series, you got, 4 great games. Chiefs, Texans, Bills, Ravens. I don't even care about the NFC. I don't even like. I'm an AFC guy. I'm just worried about who would I rather, if we win, if we happen to win today, who would I rather play to, in the AFC Championship? And I mean, that's just, I think the Bills beat us. We beat the Ravens. I think probably the Ravens might be a better matchup for us than the Bills. But I think it could be a really high scoring game. That Bills Ravens game. I think that could be insanely high scoring, or it could just be completely boring. Like, usually that's what happens when you think it's going to be a shootout. Then it's like,
exactly.
Oh, everybody's kind of just waiting for the other team to make a mistake, and we're not going to, push the thing. But I think the NFL right now is so much fun. That this is when everybody tunes in, right? Everybody starts paying attention. I think that's the fun part about it. And I love their playoff system, right? Like, so you have to wait and see who wild card weekend, and then they reseed it, and they, it's kind of cool how they do that. It's a really, nobody else does it that way, right? Like, you have your 1 through 8, and it goes.
I 100% agree. Let's dissect that Bills Ravens game a little bit, because I still get frustrated that the NFL allowed, and by that I mean the other teams and owners, and that they allowed the Baltimore Ravens to maybe pull off one of the most ridiculous moves in free agent signing this offseason, where they signed Derrick Henry for the amount of money they did. Just to remind everybody, the Baltimore Ravens, who had already a pretty good running back room in Justice Hill, who can be, more of a factor in the receiving game. But then they also had J.K. Dobbins, but they allowed Dobbins to walk back to the Los Angeles Chargers, and he dealt with injuries in his time. But you go out and you allow one of the better teams in the AFC to sign Derrick Henry on a 2-year deal for $8 million a year. That is like next to nothing for one of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the entire league. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, so there's probably some money somewhere going somewhere to him, don't you think?
Yeah.
And I think that brings up a great point. People talk about the salary cap, right? Like, how do you deal with that? And I've heard a lot, going back to the Nebraska stuff about, well, there needs to be a salary cap. Okay, well, yeah, like, who's going to play by those rules anyway? Like, obviously the Ravens don't, right? I mean, there's no way. Like, there's no way he took just that kind of amount of money, unless he just really honestly wants to win a Super Bowl, But at the same point, you're putting your body on the line every week.
Yeah. And a lot of wear and tear on that body, because the way that Tennessee ran him and the way that the Baltimore Ravens run him, it's a little different. He's probably putting less on his body now, just because you have the threat of Lamar Jackson, and you're not in the backfield with either Ryan Tannehill or Malik Willis, or it's a different level of quarterback that you're playing next to. Probably a little bit better of an offensive line, probably a little bit better receivers, because that was still at the time where the Tennessee Titans, traded away A.J. Brown for next to nothing on draft night to the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So that whole franchise is kind of, in cahoots right now. But on top of that, the Baltimore Ravens, specifically with tomorrow night's game, is their offense is so dynamic that whether it's Zay Flowers that plays or Mark Andrews, who has kind of taken a couple of months off, it feels like, because he's not needed as much in that offense, or you have the dynamic ability of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in the backfield, that it just feels tough to stop. But then here comes Josh Allen, and we want to talk narratives, and we talked about Patrick Mahomes earlier, but with Josh Allen, the narrative has been, man, the guy plays so well weeks 1 through 20 going into the playoffs, but past that, he just can't win the big one. We talked about how important it is for like CJ Stroud today against against the Chiefs. But how about how important it is for either quarterback who wins tomorrow in the Bills-Ravens game to kind of continue to build their legacy?
Well, and I think Lamar's already been to, I think Lamar's really built his legacy. I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but I think it's more important for Josh Allen to win the game for his, because he hasn't, right? Like, I think Lamar's Lamar. And I think, but this guy's got to prove that he can win a big game, right? Because he just hasn't really. And so I think it's definitely more Josh Allen's game to lose, or that kind of thing. So is that going to put more pressure on him? I don't know. The guy's just kind of a gunslinger. A lot's come out. I don't know if you watched any of the little documentaries on him and the kind of his travel through, like, is great. It's a great story. And Coach Bull, I knew Coach Bull when he was at Nebraska, ended up signing him at Wyoming, and just a great story. But I don't think either one of them get past Patrick Mahomes.
So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter.
It is a big game for them, but really it's going to come down to that next one, right? Can either one of them get their team to the Super Bowl? Whichever team wins, I think that's going to be the biggest storyline, is whoever wins. Okay, awesome, you beat the other guy. And, they're the top 2 guys for the MVP or whatever. And they haven't announced that yet, right? But it sounds like it's going to be it sounds like Josh Allen's going to get surpassed, I think. So I think Josh has done enough, but Lamar, they're just ridiculous stats.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing Madden with these guys. Like it is. It's really kind of like watching you play Madden.
It is, and it's crazy because remember the words that we were talked about Lamar when he came out of Louisville in the draft was that, okay, this guy is not a quarterback. They're going to use him as a running back. They're going to need to figure out the quarterback situation elsewhere. They need to figure it out. I think it's a big game for Josh Allen for all the reasons that you just listed, right? Where he's had so much success, and he is essentially, he can hurt teams and defenses in so many ways. James Cook, we talked about underrated running backs. I think James Cook is a fringe top 5 running back in the league right now. When you talk about dynamic running backs, it's going to be, guys like Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy, Derrick Henry. James Cook, I believe I saw the statistic where he scored a touchdown in like 11 of their last 12 games. James Cook has. And nobody's talking about James Cook as one of the best running backs in the league. And so, obviously, the younger brother of Dalvin Cook. And that was a situation, too, where Buffalo took a risk. They moved on from Devin Singletary, who's now in Houston as well. That they moved on from Devin Singletary. Oh, excuse me. No, he's in New York with the Giants now. But they move on from Devin Singletary, and James Cook in his first or second year is the dude for the Buffalo Bills. And he's kind of taken it. He reminds me of a young Dalvin Cook, his older brother, on when he was with the Minnesota Vikings before all the injuries. And so it's a big game for Lamar, big game for Josh Allen, and whoever loses they're still going to have to fight off that narrative of, yeah, there's no question they belong and they're a very, very good quarterback, but there's conversations that feature Patrick Mahomes, and then there's conversations that feature those guys.
Yeah, exactly. And I think whoever wins is going to step into that next game, and no matter if they can't win that next one, then it goes back there into the same lump, right? Like you just get a lump, like they're back to square one, right? So I think that's really the important step, is the next step. And obviously, as a big Chiefs fan, I don't want them to take that step. But I like Josh Allen. I like what he does. I've always said I like Peyton Manning. I like watching him play. I thought he was a surge. He was like surgical out there, right? He did it differently than a lot of other guys. Couldn't run the ball for anything. I mean, at all. And still, Tom Brady kind of proved that same thing. But Lamar is on a different level. Josh is on a different level. They can run the ball. They run the ball better than Patrick does by far.
Yeah.
But it seems that Patrick has the little just weird things happen. Like he just makes kind of something out of nothing. So those three quarterbacks, I mean, and then you take the guy, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback, can't think of his name right now.
Joe Burrow.
Burrow. You take those four quarterbacks in the AFC are just so much fun to watch. And then CJ coming along his second year. Not a big Ohio State fan, so hopefully CJ we settle him down today, and he has to worry about next season. But there's just some really electric quarterbacks in the AFC, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And then you got the old guy like what's his name at the Steelers? Been around a long time, and he kind of had to bow out, and now Tomlin's gone, and there's a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of crazy. So let's we got a break coming up, I think.
Yeah. I was going to say, when do you want to do predictions? Do you want to predict all NFL games now? You want to wait on that, or what are we thinking here? What do we got coming up in the show?
Let's come back and talk a little NFC, because I want your take on the NFC, since I don't watch a lot of NFC football. I want your take on that. Then we'll do predictions for all the NFL games. Then we'll end with Notre Dame, Ohio State, which is a huge game for the Big Ten, and it should be a lot of fun. So thanks everybody for joining us on the Power Hour. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Raising little ones is a big job, and you do your best to give them a good start every day. That means making sure they're well cared for while you're apart. You work hard, but it's not always easy to make ends meet. There may be help. Find out if you qualify for Nebraska's Child Care Tax Credit for working parents. You could be eligible for a credit of up to $2,000 per child on your next tax return. Learn more at nebraskachildcaretaxcredit.org. Brought to you by First 5 Nebraska and Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, and aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports, or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Salt Mine City is now open at 8th and R in the Haymarket. Come check out Lincoln's newest brewery with 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager, Brick Street Amber Wheat, and so many more. There's daily drink specials like $1 off Moscow Mules on Tuesdays, $6 IPAs on Fridays, and $6 Bloody Marys on Saturdays. Stop by Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m., Fridays 4 to 11 p.m., Saturdays 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. It's Salt Mine City, Lincoln's newest brewery at 8th and R.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Attention all wing fans! Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 89-cent boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.29 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today at 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Early break.
There, I was just waiting. And then the lady appeared, and I just tried to make a joke. I said, I thought everything was free today. And she said, if you take anything out of here, we will follow you home. I'm like, I was kidding. I'm not taking anything.
You're on the list, buddy.
Yeah.
You're on the list
I
now.
will follow you home.
I've had it happen a couple times or something.
People follow you.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk about trading up. Not what you're thinking. You could never trade her in, but you can trade up her stone if you like. Signify the growth of your love, the challenges you have overcome, or any part of your love journey by trading up her diamond. Whether it's been 5 years, 25 years, or 50, say it with a bling. Big love, big bling. We got you. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
A new year means it's time to try new things. If you haven't tried Fear's cheese spread yet, the time is now. For the days you don't want to go to the gym, don't worry. Fear's cheese spread is there to cheer you up. And for the days you do get to the gym, why not celebrate when you get back with the best dip around? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Fear's cheese spread. No event or party is complete without it on your table.
Back to the Power Hour with Todd Uhlir on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to the Power Hour. I'm Todd Uhlir. I'm here with Nick. What's up, Nick? In the studio. I'm in Kansas City, gonna freeze at Arrowhead today. But we're gonna jump into the NFC games. We've talked a lot about the AFC games, and so I had to look it up on my phone. Washington, Detroit playing today. Another big quarterback game for these guys, right? Obviously, Jaden Daniels and so I do know a little bit about the NFC. I do watch some NFC. So now that I see it, I'm like, oh, Jaden Daniels is the Washington quarterback. Like, yeah, he's pretty good rookie. So I think that'll be a pretty cool matchup for Washington with Detroit. And then obviously Detroit, even as a Chiefs fan, I'm rooting for Detroit. Like, I want Detroit I wanted them in the Super Bowl last year. I thought it would have probably been harder to beat Detroit than it would have been the 49ers. But so I think that's going to be a fun game today, tonight at 7:00. A lot of interesting matches. Like, pretty much Detroit has been unstoppable, really. They just do everything really, really well.
Yeah, they do, and it's also in a year and a stretch where they've had at times up to 22 guys on IR. This is not a team that's at full strength either, which makes the run and the success maybe even more exciting and exhilarating. However, when you get to the playoffs and it's win or go home, it maybe makes you a little more anxious as well, because one slip up or a combination of a couple slip ups, it ends your season. And there's a big piece of teams that there's the difference between, if we want to connect this to the Kansas City Chiefs, they're accustomed to being the team to beat. They're not unfamiliar with this stage. The Lions, to a certain extent, are. They haven't been a number one seed in the NFC. They haven't been the team to beat for the entire season and the playoffs. It'll be interesting to see, how does Jared Goff handle this? How does the younger guys that are going to be going through this for the first time, how do they handle it? Is Jahmyr Gibbs still able to be effective? Or if you're the Washington Commanders, you go on the road last week and win at Tampa Bay, you look at this as, we're playing with house money. Here we got nothing to lose. Here we go.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. But I think Goff is that quarterback. He's been around the block. I think he's a great guy to lead the Lions on this run. And like you said, how many more guys are they going to get hurt and still win? It just seems like they drop like flies, and it's the next man up mentality. And I'll tell you what, I would play for that coach any day. Man, he's very excitable and seems to really run a tight ship. And it would be I think it would be a lot of fun to play under him. I'm sure it's difficult, right? But when you're in your comfort zone, that's not when you're growing, right? You got to get out of your comfort zone to grow. And he's done, Dan Campbell, right? He's done a phenomenal job of reviving this franchise that's just been the doormat of the NFL, right?
Oh, yeah. You go through the winless year, and now it's here you go.
Yeah, and now they're the team. They are the team to beat in the NFC. and it's going to be interesting. I love the analogy playing with house money for the Washington, whatever they're called now, Commanders. Still want to call them the Redskins. Probably shouldn't, I guess. Commanders. Jaden Daniels is exciting. It's just interesting. I saw a stat pop up the other day that showed Jaden Williams stats and Caleb Williams stats, and what a difference being on different teams makes, right?
Mhm.
Like, people will say Caleb Williams was a bust and Jaden Daniels is like the best thing ever, but like their stats are really similar. It's kind of crazy to me to see, and that goes to the organization. That starts at the top, right? From GM, owner, GM, down to all those people making those decisions, right? I mean, the Bears have just been traditionally really, really bad since '84 when they won the last Super Bowl. So I think that's going to be a great game tonight. My heart's with the Lions. I think they'll definitely pull that off. So, and then tomorrow's stack of games. We got Los Angeles Rams, who had to have a home game in Arizona.
Yeah.
So those guys are dealing with some craziness. Going to Philadelphia, and our boy Cam Jurgens, who's now All Pro, which is awesome. Former Husker. Love that for him. He's worked so hard. So I don't think there's a chance for Los Angeles. I just don't think. I think Philadelphia's playing too good.
That's interesting because you and I are now going to have to agree to disagree, Mr. Todd, because I'm sitting here and I go over the Rams have won 6 of their last 8 games. And this obviously is dating back to, regular season time, but they've won 6 of their last 8 games. I think Kyron Williams is a really, really good running back that they've started to really feature. They featured him a lot. Out of the backfield, a former Notre Dame guy himself. Matt Stafford has obviously been to the postseason with the Rams, one that was in the Super Bowl and things like that. Puka Nacua has firmly taken over as a wide receiver 1 option over Cooper Kupp in that offense. And then in addition to that, what surprised me and impressed me the most was in the Rams-Bucks game, the Rams game last weekend against the Minnesota Vikings, was that when Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were both covered and unopened, Matthew Stafford on 5 straight passes went to Tyler Higbee. Matthew Stafford started 6 of 6 on the game, and 5 of those 6 were to Tyler Higbee all in a row because Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were covered up. Good job by the Minnesota defense there. Higbee is going to play today, is going to play tomorrow. I'm concerned about Jalen Hurts' health. I don't think Jalen Hurts is fully healthy. Mm-hmm. And Saquon Barkley had 255 rushing yards the last time these two teams played. If I had to put my money where my mouth is, I think I'm going to the Eagles. But if there's going to be one road team that I think upsets the other, this is where I go most likely.
Yeah, I think you're right. If there's going to be a road team that upsets, this would be it. But I just think Saquon is too good.
Yeah.
And even if Jalen's hurt, what do? How do you stop Saquon, right? And if they take that away, you don't need a very healthy Jalen Hurts to tear you apart. I mean, he's got such good experience and that kind of stuff. If they're going to say, hey, we're not going to let Saquon beat us, there's going to be people open because they're going to have to blitz. They're going to have to come after him, stop him, get him in the backfield. And to get him in the backfield, you got to bring extra players. You bring in extra players, somebody's going to be open. So I just think Philadelphia is just too much experience in the postseason to let this one slip by them. So I think it'll be interesting for sure. And so those 2 games are going to be interesting. And then obviously I'm taking Detroit and Philadelphia, and then so you got those 2 teams, in the NFC Championship game. And I think once again, my heart wants Detroit. I think Saquon though is really like, if he's not the best running back in the NFL, I don't know who is. He's just shown it. David Henry had a great year, but Saquon's just done things we haven't seen done before. And it's just crazy to take him out of New York and put him in Philadelphia, and it makes that big a difference. Like, how is that possible? But sometimes, like I said, you got to get out of your comfort zone in order to grow, right? Like,
well, I think offensive line has a big deal to do with that too. You mentioned Cam Jurgens. They have Lane Johnson on that offensive line as well. But on top of that, you had a quarterback in Daniel Jones in New York who I think could use his legs, but chose not to quite a bit. Jalen Hurts can. So you have that dynamic ability or potential in the backfield alongside him. Then you just look at the offense, right? It's like try to compare wide receiver 1 and 2s on those two sides. And in Philly, you have to worry about Devontae Smith, who was a Heisman winner in college, who is a really good number 2, and AJ Brown, who's just a freak in nature in terms of size and what he's able to do and his athleticism at his size. And so those compared to, I mean, I'm going to probably mess up, but I think they had like Darius Slayton as a wide receiver in New York when Saquon was there. Like, that was their number 1 guy. And it's just a different type of offense. It's a different level of talent.
Yeah. It's just fun to see Saquon succeed at that level because we all knew he had it. Like, we all knew the potential was there. So it's always good to see when guys get in a system and succeed. I think that's always fun to watch, kind of that dynamic of different teams. And I think let's talk about that with the portal, right? Like, there's guys at Nebraska that just don't feel like this is home, and so they go to the portal, right? And maybe they go somewhere else and it benefits them, and that's cool. I'm not a big portal guy. I don't 100% agree with it, but at the same time, if you don't feel like you can, be successful with the coaching staff or with the environment or that kind of thing, it's not for everybody, right? I think that's one of Nebraska's slogans, right? It's not for everybody. So I do think seeing that in the NFL, where a guy like that changes teams, and Derrick Henry, no different. I mean, just had a phenomenal year on a different team and didn't have to carry the ball 50 times a game to get it done.
Yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun weekend, and then obviously Monday night we're gonna wrap it up with the college football championship, the 8 seed versus the 7 seed. So we'll probably touch a little deeper on that when we come back for the last segment. So who do you got? Let's go. So we got Chiefs, Texans.
Yep.
I'm
Chiefs.
taking the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Okay. Today, and then we got the Rams, Detroit today.
It's the Commanders and Lions today.
Commanders, yeah. Commanders and Lions. I'll take the Lions.
I'm with you there.
You're gonna take the Lions. All right, you're gonna pick against Philadelphia or not? I'm taking Philly.
I am gonna take the Rams. I am gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna go with the one of the hotter teams in NFL.
And then the last game that I think this is the toughest one to call. The Baltimore Buffalo game tomorrow night. I think that's going to be in the late afternoon.
Yeah.
I want Josh Allen to win it for Josh Allen and just have that feel good story, and then come into the AFC Championship game and get beat by Patrick Mahomes again. So we need to exact some revenge on them if they beat us in the regular season. So I think that will be that's my pick. Is I think the Bills. So we'll win that one. What do you got?
The Bills having this one at home, I think is going to be the extra straw needed. So I think I'm going to lean Bills. Would not be surprised to see an upset or the road team, the visitors win. I think the Bills though win in that 3 to 7 points range. Like, I think it's going to be a tight one possession type of finish.
Yeah, it could be who has the ball last, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's typically how the Kansas City games have gone. Who has the ball last?
Absolutely.
Except for, I think we've had a missed field goal, a blocked field goal win.
yeah. Somehow, some way.
It wasn't in our hand the last time.
A couple of seconds, a couple of seconds away from having like a 12-5 record or 12-6 record.
Oh yeah, or worse. Could have been worse, honestly. I mean, easily could have been 12-6, but could have been a losing season. I mean, there were so many close games this year for the Chiefs, and I think that just hopefully built their character. And like I said, the last couple of weeks they started showing what they can do when they really locked in. So I think that'll be pretty interesting. So, all right, we ready for break, Nick?
Yep.
When we come back, I think we're going to talk Ohio State. We're going to talk, can Notre Dame knock off the best team in college football according to, player personnel, all that. Like, I mean, it's crazy when you look at like the 5 stars versus versus each other, the 4 stars, all that stuff. So yeah, we'll talk all about that stuff when we're back here on the Power Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk about trading up. Not what you're thinking. You could never trade her in, but you can trade up her stone if you like. Signify the growth of your love, the challenges you have overcome, or any part of your love journey by trading up her diamond. Whether it's been 5 years, 25 years, or 50, say it with a bling. Big love, big bling. We got you. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Back to the Power Hour with Todd Uhlir on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. I'm Todd Uhlir. I'm here with Nick, and we're going to finish up this last segment with college football. We've been talking all this NFL because there's the divisional playoff games today. I'm headed down to Arrowhead Stadium as soon as I'm done here to start tailgating and do some pre-gaming. And so we got David versus Goliath here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy. It's been kind of called that. Notre Dame's actually the 7 seed. Ohio State's the 8 seed. How crazy is that? That our first year of this expanded playoff that we've got the 8 and 7 seed, right? You've got Ohio State, who supposedly spent $20 million on their roster. And you've got Notre Dame, who knows? They got money. They probably spent just as much. We just don't know, right? Because it's a private school, so they don't have to publicly disclose any of that stuff, right?
That's right.
Here's the fun part. I did talk about this with VJ and Terrell on Wednesday, on Window World Wednesday. So thanks, Window World, for sponsoring this show as well. The 5 stars. Notre Dame has 1 5-star. Ohio State has 13. Now, they both have quite a few 4 stars. Actually, Notre Dame with 58 and Ohio State with 55. And then you have 23 3 stars for Notre Dame and only 10 3 stars for Ohio State. And then you've got 8 2 stars and no 2 stars. There's not even a 2-star at Ohio State. So David versus Goliath. I think this is going to come down to, really who makes some big plays, right? I think they're both very good teams. I'm not counting Notre Dame out of this. I think the spread's 8.5 on this one too.
That's right.
How's it 8.5? They both have played really. And I get it. Ohio State scored late to put that game away by 14, but that Texas was going down to score to tie the game.
Yeah.
So I think that was a little closer game than the 14 points indicated. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think it really comes down to field position, that kind of stuff. Is obviously the emotions are going to run high. I suited up. I would love to say I played, but I suited up in 2 national championship games. It does, even for a guy that was just on the sidelines, your energy levels through the roof in that first kickoff and first quarter. So who can settle down, get into their game plan? Obviously each team's going to throw wrinkles at each other. So who's going to pick that up the quickest and not force a turnover here or have a big play happen against them, like the long run that Notre Dame had right off the bat with whoever they played the first round. I can't think of it now. 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah, it was against Indiana.
Yeah, just absolutely kind of took the wind out of Indiana's sails, right? So if you don't give up any of that stuff early, I think we're going to have a really close game as they settle in and they just start moving their chess pieces around, right? So sounds like, Notre Dame had they kind of remind me of the Detroit Lions a little bit. They've had a lot of injuries, and they just kind of seem to keep showing up and doing enough to win. So I think, and this quarterback's fun to watch for Notre Dame. I think he's one of the most, he's probably my favorite guy to watch in college football this year as far as quarterbacks go. I loved watching Dylan Raiola when he was throwing touchdowns, but
yeah,
I think this guy's just fun to watch as a leader, and I think that's what hopefully Dylan wants to get to, right? Is a guy that's kind of like that. So I think it's going to be a really interesting game early. If somebody pulls away early, then I just kind of see Ohio State. If they get knocked in the teeth, maybe they bow down. But it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Real quickly before we get to predictions, I'll just say this: I think players, not plays necessarily in this type of game, and with that, there's just a sheer number more players, and talented guys that can make big plays on Ohio State's side. We saw it in the first couple of rounds of the playoffs, the way that they came out guns a-blazing and ridiculously successful on offense, whether it was against Oregon or whoever it may be. Jeremiah Smith was essentially non-existent in the game against Texas because Texas put, at least two guys on him every single play. But guess what? Okay, that's fine. Two of the top 5 running backs in the NFL draft is they have in the backfield, and Quishon Junkins and Travion Henderson. Carnell Tate is absolutely able to make something happen. Oh, guess what? How about a top 3 round wide receiver and Emeka Ibuka is on their roster as well. And then you have an experienced quarterback in Will Howard under center. And they have the best red zone defense in the entire country statistically. So there's a lot going against Notre Dame in this game. I think players, not plays necessarily. If Riley Leonard, like you said, can hold on to the football, Jeremiah Love has been able to get another week healthier than he was against Penn State. Don't forget, people went into that game from Notre Dame's standpoint saying they can't run the ball against Penn State's defense. Well, they did. They did. And they did so successfully to the point that's how they won the game. And so ultimately, if they can once again do their type of football, I think Notre Dame certainly has a chance. I understand that Ohio State's the favorite, and I'd probably, if I had to be unbiased and completely looking at it from a factual standpoint, yeah, Ohio State should win this game on Monday. However, as we know, that's why you play the games, Todd Uhlir. That's why you play the games.
That's absolutely, and I think the luck of the Irish. I mean, I've got a ton of Ohio State buddies, and I'm kind of like I want them to win for my buddies, but at the same point, I kind of feel like the luck of the Irish. So I'm going to take Notre Dame in an upset. I guess it's not even an upset. It's because they're the higher seed, but it just feels like it's David versus Goliath, and so really excited about watching that game Monday night. It's going to be awesome. So. But yeah, excited to get out today and watch these Chiefs take on the Texans and see CJ Stroud in person for the first time. Haven't been to a game. He's prolific guy to kind of watch. So it's going to be a really fun day. And that's another power hour here down. I want to thank my sponsors, Window World, Set the Bar Stops, Exarban Spine and Sport, always supporting the show. And so make sure and check those guys out. And that's it, man. That's what we got this week. Hopefully you guys crush your weekend, crush this week. We'll be back next week and we'll see, who's playing who. We'll talk a little bit about, the championship games. So, and who was crowned the champion in college football. So we'll talk a little bit of that next week. So that's what I got. God bless. Much love. Peace out.